Brothers and sisters of the Dammeron Valley Ward, this is Brother Brimhall here again, and this is video number 6 in our series of learning how to use FamilySearch. We trust by now you've been able to view the other videos and have experienced the fun of finding yourself and an ancestor and learning about memories, and particularly that you've been able to add a memory and see and enjoy and share these experiences with your family, and that you've been able to learn and fall in love with your ancestors. Today we're going to talk about the FamilySearch website and what you can find there, and then specifically your own customized website. And so our video today is the FamilySearch website and your website. Let's go and start where we usually start. As you can see, I'm located here on churchofjesuschrist.org, and I go down to familysearch.org. Now, I'm not going to log in yet because this is the website for FamilySearch if you haven't logged in. So if you just go to the website, and there's a lot of things here that I'd like to show you about, just to get acquainted with this generally. I'm not going to explore everything. You can do that yourself, but a lot of what's on the general website is an invitation to get an account, because until you have an account, you really can't use a lot of the features. You'll see across the top FamilySearch, and that's what we're seeing this right here. You will see Family Tree, but again, not much you can do on Family Tree until you've got an account. You can search some records, memories, again, you need an account. Indexing, we're going to talk about at another time. And then there's a whole series of activities that you can follow, and but again, almost all of those require you to have an account. If you do go down, and you'll see some invitations to do some other things. And here, for example, is to learn about your family story. You actually don't have to have an account to do this. Let me just quickly show you. I'm going to put in the name of my grandfather that we've used before, Isaac E. Brockbank. And if we hit search, you're going to see that it begins to tell us some information about that. It tells us that there are 9,946 people with the last name of Brockbank in the family tree, that name is mostly found in England, in the United States, and in Scotland. Of course, England is where the Brockbanks came, from where they came. It'll start to give me all of the Isaac E. Brockbanks that are found in there, and mostly Isaac Brockbank because it's more general, and so it'll give a list of them that are found in the family tree, and there's a lot. So you think, well, Isaac Brockbank, that's not a very familiar name, but it is. There's a lot of them there, and it'll kind of show you everybody's there. You can pick on one if you want. Then it'll go down and say that there's a lot of documents about Isaac Brockbank in FamilySearch, and there are 17,000 birth, marriage, and death certificates, 1,000 census lists, military lists, probate, and others, and then it'll start to show you where some of those are. Now that's just a quick way of learning about your family without having to actually log in. That's just general information. You can discover your families through records, but again, logging in is necessary, as it is here with finding yourself in the tree. There you need to log in. So these are just interesting things that can be done. Right here, if you go to this last little page, there's a connection to something that talks about FamilySearch. First of all, that it's sponsored by the church, it's free to everybody, a little bit about why the church would do this, about protecting privacy, what we do, a little bit about the history of FamilySearch, and used to be the Genealogical Society of Utah. And then partners, and it'll talk about a lot of the partners. And there's one thing here, and I'm just going to show you this. There's a thing called the Solutions Gallery, And this will give you a list of all of the people that are associated with Family Search companies. And many of them will do things like build you a tree, help you with finding documents, and there's games and everything else, and it'll talk about people's scoring of them and how much they cost. And generally for members, they don't cost anything. But let's now go back here. This is, again, what you would find when you first come in, and this is things we've kind of talked about. And feel free to explore that. It doesn't cost anything, and you're not going to create any problems or anything. You can't do any damage there. But now let's go to the sign-in portion. Now you've all, if you've gotten this far, you've done that. And I'm going to sign in, and my computer fills in the blanks. And this is a customized home page. So when you sign in, it customizes this for you. And I'm going to share with you just a few things you find there. First of all, there's a little advertisement here about Roots Tech next year, which is going to be online instead of located at the Salt Palace, and you can gain some information about that. There's a place to volunteer. Right now they're trying to have an effort to correct place names that are incorrect, and if you want to try that, it'll show you how to do that, and that's an opportunity that's given to you. Here it says understanding your calling. Well, my calling, of course, has to do with temple and family history, and so I can say get started, and it will lead me to some information the church has to tell me with my calling. Over here are recent additions to people to whom I'm related. So here is a copy of a Book of Mormon that was given to Wilford and Reba from May Talmage. May was Elder Talmage's wife, and she gave them a copy of Jesus the Christ. And I may say, well, wait a minute, Mary Rebecca. Well, I don't know who she is, but if I hit see my relationship, it shows that my great-grandfather's brother, Wilford Booth, was married to Mary Rebecca Moyle. We call her Aunt Reba, and Uncle Booth we call Uncle Wolf, and they were the ones that were mission presidents over in Palestine. So that allows us to see information that was added to somebody to whom I'm related, and that will change almost every time you log on, or every day you log on, you'll see more information there. Down here, you're going to see people that I've recently looked at, and you're also going to see people that have actions needed, and so you might, for example, go over here, and if you see somebody like John Davies and he's got a little temple symbol, that means that there's temple work that needs to be done for that person. And the reason it hasn't been done is because it needs more information. And you can see the details about that right here, and then you can start working on finding that information. But these are just little hints of places that you can go to do things and to start. And again, recent people you've viewed, and then there's some kind of fun little things down here, little activities you can do. You can look at your face and can see which one of your ancestors looks like you, and that's kind of some fun things as well. I will indicate that that this site again will change regularly, but the key to it is right up here. And you already know about some of these. One is this menu, Family Tree. Well, if you go to Tree, which you've done, then here I am in the middle of the tree, and here are my ancestors. You already know about tree and different kinds of trees. Search. So I can go here, and I can search records or images or family tree or genealogies or a catalog the church has or books. Or there's a wiki, which is a place where you can go and see if anybody else is working on the same name you are and see what they put in. And so this search is available to you. And if I were to go to records, and you can see here, if I were to just put in, again, Isaac Brockbank. And if I were to put in more information, such as a birthplace, a death, or anything like that, it'll do a better job. But if I hit search, it will bring up every record the church has that's been indexed, and it'll tell you about that record and where they got it. And if I were to search here through enough, I would find my my grandfather, Osric Brockbank. And in fact, that's probably him right there. And in fact, it is, because the relationship shows my mother. And this is from a census record. And if I were to click on it, it will show the census information. And it'll actually, over here, if I click on this, it'll actually show me the census document. And I can look at the actual document that was taken by the census takers at the time that the census was taken. Now, I can also go to memories, and you've been aware of that. I can see the gallery of the pictures I put in and the people who are in there. I can go to indexing, and we're going to talk more about indexing in a bit. I'm going to also show you temple. So this is something that's added if you log in and you're a member of the church. And if you hit temple and hit my reservations, it'll show all the people that I have on my reservation list. And so here's Henry O'Neill, and he's been reserved to do these ordinances. I haven't printed them out yet because I'm not able to go to the temple, but when the time comes, I can print these out, or I can share them with somebody else. And you can see I've got quite a few there. And this just allows you to quickly go find a name that you can take to the temple that you've already reserved. Now over here is activities, and this is kind of fun because I can go to where am I from, and this will quickly show a map of the world, and it shows that in all of my generations, 262 of the people are from England. There's some from back east, there's some Midwest, and there's some from Utah. So this kind of gives you an idea. Now I can go back now and change this. Okay, let's go to 5 generations and 7 generations, and this is kind of a fun thing to show you where from where your ancestors came. I can also say about me, and so this will begin to say, okay, how many people share my name? Where was the origin of my name? What took place in the world? Where did I come from? Again, we kind of reviewed that. Down here, it'll show you things. What was the population of the world when I was born? And how much did a first-class stamp cost? Who won the World Series? How many temples were dedicated that year? What was the cost of a movie ticket? Who was the President of the United States? How many temples were there? And some of these are games, so you get to kind of guess, well, how many were there? And so I'm going to hit 11. Oh boy, not quite right. Not getting it right. Okay, there were only 8 temples dedicated at the time I was born. And so this is a fun place to go and just find out who won Best Picture of the Year and some of those things. And in some of them, you can not only see the cost of a movie ticket. It was 50 cents when I was born, but in 1956, that price had moved up to 75 cents. In 1964, which is kind of one I can remember, was $1.15. These are fun things that you can do under activities. Now, I'll show you one more as we conclude here, but if I get an activity to see if I can find the right one. Compare a face. Let's do picture in my heritage. So I've got people from America and England. So here is England. And if I click on this and tell it to use the camera in my computer, there I am. So I'm going to put my face up to it. And there I am, dressed in a costume of England at the time, but my face is in that, and I can have some fun and download that and send it to my grandkids or whatever. So activities have a lot of fun things in there. Now, this is a really brief overview, and I only share this with you to let you know that you have the general website and then you have your customized homepage, and both of these things are worth some time to explore, and particularly under activities, do it with your kids, do it with your family. And some of these things you can share and send off the whole thing to somebody else, and they can learn about you as well. So I hope this has been helpful. We'll start doing some more of these now to get us into learning about the mobile app for your phone and for your tablet. And then we're going to learn about finding somebody and learn about adding them to the tree. And then we'll learn about indexing, and then we'll learn about preparing a name for the temple. So thanks so much for this attention, and we hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll explore FamilySearch.